Alright, let's do this one last time. My name is Drew Dodgy, and for the last couple months, I've been doing a podcast with my good buddy, Jacob Herron. While we love film in general, with us being artists and all, we have a fascination with animation, and we decided to start an audio podcast after we both geeked out over the animated Transformers movie. We're not perfect, we've gotten names wrong, and we don't always agree on movies. But at the end of the day, we try to bring an informative and entertaining show to you all, and we'd like to welcome you to The Cellcast.
Hello and welcome to another episode of The Cellcast. Joining me this morning is a man who proves the adage you can't keep a good dog down, Jacob.
Why, thank you. And I'd like to introduce our co-host, a man who would sometimes want to quote Carface with, "I'm surrounded by idiots." Welcome, Drew.
You're only saying that because I think that's the same thing we said with Scar in the Lion King episode.
I don't know, maybe. I thought it was funny.
And I'm just giving you a hard time, dude. How are you doing today?
Man, I'm doing pretty good. Work was kind of frustrating. Like we all do. We get frustrated with little things. We get little, like to call Eeyore modes a little bit, but, got over it. Realized, hey, it's not the end of the world.
Yes, I know how that's like.
Yeah, but it's going pretty good. How about you, Drew?
I'm doing good at the moment. It was kind of a normal day. Nothing too funky.
Okay. There's just, Funky Town.
Well, this episode might be a couple hours late, but just because I'm going to end up having to go in on Saturday. But you'll
fun.
Yeah. So yeah.
Okay.
It's one of those things where it's like, I know I can talk about it.
Yeah.
I just don't know how much I can talk about.
Oh, okay. I gotcha. Well, be like, if it confidential, let's let
it's not
this on the
confidential.
airwaves.
It's just what happens at work stays at work sort of thing.
I gotcha. All right, so kind of an odd segue with that. With most of the time, be like, I work on Saturdays and Drew's off on Saturdays. Mm-hmm. Oddly enough, I'm off this Saturday and you're working on Saturday.
Oh, I might be working this Saturdays from here for a long time.
Ooh,
but hey. Overtime is a nice thing.
That is true.
And I'd rather get 8 hours of overtime than 5.
That is true.
I had a choice. I took the easy one.
Oh, okay.
So, what have you been watching, Jacob?
What have I been watching? All right. So, YouTube has actually been my friend for like a couple of days.
Has it?
All right. So, I have been watching, I found this short that came out, I believe what you said, in 1995.
I think that's when that one came out. It was the last. Well, I'll let you say it and then I'll say what.
All right. It's one of the last shorts or anything that's ever been done with Roger Rabbit.
Yeah.
And like anybody who's anybody in animation probably knows who Roger Rabbit is.
Yes. And ironically, the animation on this was better than it was in the movie.
Oh, I agree. It's leaps and bounds better than the movie. But it's called
But that's probably because it was pure cell animation and it wasn't having to be put on top of other composite onto top of
that's true.
action film.
That is true. But the animation is far better, not degrading the original by any means. That was incredible. This is called Roger Rabbit's Trail Mix-Up. And you do get introduced by a bunch of Warner Brothers characters. This was produced by Warner Brothers.
Yes.
And I thoroughly enjoyed it. I saw it on YouTube. I saw the clickbait, the whatever you call it, on YouTube, and I saw
thumbnail.
Yeah, the thumbnail. Thank you. I saw that, and I was like, "Oh, I gotta watch that. Is it real? Is it fake?" And oh my gosh, I had so much fun with that. I laughed my ever living head off.
And then you fell asleep before church.
That's another story entirely.
I'm just rattling your chain, dude.
Oh yeah,
you know how it is.
Oh, the dog jokes tonight.
I can't do it. Never mind. Wow.
Anyways, The second thing I actually watched was Mobile Suit Gundam Build Fighters.
Okay.
Yeah, for some reason it showed up on my feed, and I had heard about this. And I was like, okay, this is a kind of like a Yu-Gi-Oh, but Gundam.
So
you fight with your Gundams.
Is it still a card game?
No, it's not a card game.
Okay.
So
this is closer to what what is that game?
It's Gunpla.
Metabots?
It's more like Metabots. It's literally a Gunpla, which is a Gundam build kit.
Uh-huh.
For most people who don't know that, it's called a Gunpla. And so they built these Gunplas and fight them in this simulated arena.
Well, that is an interesting take on the concept.
Yeah, it's interesting. I probably watched like 4 episodes. It was real. It was fun and very weird.
Mm-hmm.
Because Gundam at that point had kind of branched off into doing a lot of stuff like minis and all kinds of, experimenting with a lot of things. But yeah, it was interesting and fun. It was interesting, fun. I might go back and watch it again. And I think I watched one other this is also on YouTube. You can go check out, I think it's the first season is on YouTube right now of Mobile Suit Gundam Build Fighters.
Okay.
And I did check out one episode of Transformers Cyberverse.
Okay.
And be like, it's a good series. Be like, it's definitely primarily towards kids, but it's still fun and it's enjoyable if you're a Transformers fan, and maybe a little annoying in some parts, but it's overall fun. What about you?
Well, not long after we quit recording the last episode, like literally 24 hours before church, I had some time to kill before church, but not, 2 hours worth to throw in a movie.
Right.
And I'm just going through Netflix and I see something I should have brought up in the news last week, but I forgot. There's this little show I watched about 6-7 months ago called Cells at Work.
Yeah, I heard about this.
I had originally watched a long portion of the Japanese subtitled version, which was fun enough as it was. But I kind of given up on watching the dub because Aniplex USA was selling the complete disc set for a horribly large amount of money that no one in their right mind would pay, except for the super otaku.
Yeah.
Anyway, they were nice enough at least to put it on Netflix.
Good.
With the English dub. And I enjoyed the ever-loving fool out of it. Even though I had seen these episodes, but watching them in English, they still are as funny and educational.
Yeah.
It hits you right where it's supposed to. It's such a well-made show for what it is.
Yeah.
For those who don't know what it is, different cells, it's about a group, these people who are anthropomorphized versions of actual human cells.
Huh.
So you've got the red blood cell, who is trying to get oxygen nutrients around the body, but she keeps getting lost, which is fun.
Little worker bees.
Yes. And then you've got white blood cell, who is trying to track down a bacteria that got into the body.
Yeah.
And he's almost a psychopath in how he goes about this job.
He slaughters with no remorse.
He's the nicer of the two white blood cells, because the killer T cells are worse.
Oh, yeah, I can imagine.
Because they're like, if he's the police, they're the military.
Oh, okay.
I'll put it that way.
Gotcha.
It's such I watched the episode on bacterial infection, skin scrape.
Yeah.
Which was fun because you got all the little platelets in there. And they're all shown as like little kids, like kindergartners.
Yeah, I saw that.
And they're saying this, we've got to force stronger on us, so they'll stop all. And of course, the bacteria having none of this. Like, they're little kids. What do we have to worry about them for?
You'd be surprised.
No. Oh no, our way out's blocked. How do those little kids do this? And then
have you ever worked with kids?
Yeah. And then my favorite, the viral infection.
Okay.
It's a zombie thriller, which makes sense when you think about it.
Yeah.
It's such a fun show. I highly suggest it. It is the bloodiest show you'll ever watch. And I'm not just saying that because most of the characters are blood cells. There's a lot of blood in it too.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Quote unquote, whatever the stuff inside the cells are. I don't know. They color it red like blood, so I'm going with that.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
So, also, I needed something lighter over the weekend after
Not so bloody?
Well, and after I had watched another movie for our upcoming
recording
this Friday, I needed something lighter and funnier and stupid. That was animated, and I happened to be going through Disney Plus, and I thought I'll just watch an episode of Phineas and Ferb. That's my show right now.
Oh yeah.
Well, instead of for some reason, instead of just hitting next episode, I scrolled down and remembered. Oh yeah. In season 4 was their Star Wars episode.
Oh.
I think I can jump ahead because I don't think anywhere in this affects anything in our continuity. And pretty much it tells you that at the beginning because the scroll.
Oh, God.
The scroll.
Yes.
It ends with, none of this is canon, so just relax.
Clever.
It's like, well, okay then. And it's just what it is it's a retelling of episode 4.
Of course.
The original Star Wars.
Like you do.
But they are making fun of everything throughout the way. Because, the Phineas and Ferb characters are in there. And they're just having fun with it.
Yeah.
So, the Death Star was originally based on a nutcracker that Dr. Doofenshmirtz had made. And he's mad that the Empire stole his designs, even though he works for the Empire. So, of course, it's got because everything he has an auto-destruct button on it somewhere.
Okay.
That's why the Death Star is such an easy...
Okay.
But his goal now is to make a Sithinator that will turn anybody into a Sith. Because he's trying to raise his midichlorian level.
Oh, gosh.
So he can be stronger than Darth Vader because his midichlorian level is horrible. And it's funny.
Wow.
The Phineas and Ferb are people who live on Tatooine. They're the friends that Uncle Owen says that Luke can waste time with later.
I got you.
And they even give him the idea to go to Tashi Station for the power converters because that's how they were able to attach pod racer engines to their speeder.
Okay.
It's funny when lines from the movie are said. While it's obviously not the same voice actors,
right?
And especially with Tarkin, but the lines are said almost just like they are in the movie, like verbatim, same tone and everything.
Yeah.
So, and it's funny and hilarious, and you feel bad for Chewie.
Oh no!
At one point,
okay,
they go into, Luke and everyone else are flying to the Death Star to go fight it.
Okay,
and one of the what's her name, Isabella, one of the Phineas and Ferb characters.
Yeah.
Is kind of doing the Darth Vader role for the Phineas and Ferb team, not Darth Vader, Han Solo role.
Oh, okay.
So she goes and she's like, I'm not going to get involved in this. I'm just going to go into the apparently cantina that was there at the Rebel base. Kids show has some apple juice.
Okay.
They don't say Han and Chewie come up behind her trying to decide what they're going to do because I guess they're waiting for something to warm up or something because they haven't left yet. They don't say what Han's drinking, but I doubt it's apple juice. But the thing is, above the bar, there are these, things that are, I don't know what you call them, but part of the roof is drooped there.
Okay.
Like, it's intentionally, it's like a fiberglass shell thing drooped there for like some decoration of some kind.
Yeah.
Well, it's too high for Chewie to be able to see around. So he
bumps into it.
No, better. He actually just moves it out of the way before he sits down.
Okay, interesting.
Like, how did you come up with that? Okay. Oh, and also my favorite, the Dr. Doofenshmirtz has the way he says he doesn't have much force. He's stealing it from Darth Vader's trash. Don't ask me how.
Okay.
So about halfway through the movie, he goes don scuba gear to go talk with to go see what his pet monster in the trash compactor has gotten for him.
Oh gosh.
So she's handing him stuff, and all of a sudden she reaches down and she's got Luke. It's like, no, that's not trash. That's a guy. Let him go. And so I don't remember what you call that monster, but he walks out and says, I better flush, hits the button. Sound effects of the trash compactor compacting.
Oh, gosh.
It's just so stinking funny.
I can imagine.
Enjoyed the fool out of it. And last but not least, right before I came over here tonight, or after I got off work today, before I came over here, I put in a movie I had not seen before.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to list some names here and see if any of them pique your interest.
Okay.
Directed by Steven Spielberg.
Ew.
Produced by Kathleen Kennedy and Peter Jackson.
This sounds familiar.
Written by Stephen Moffat's the one I remember, who's from Doctor Who, and I can't remember the other two guys. Starring Daniel Craig as the villain, Simon Pegg and Nick Frost as policemen, almost twin policemen. I can't remember who plays the main character, but I'm talking about The Adventures of Tintin.
Oh, okay. Now that makes sense.
Yeah. I had never seen it before for whatever reason.
Yeah.
So I thought, well, because, we're on that 100 movie challenge thing. So, of course, any movie I watch now on my own free time, I'm thinking, okay, it's got to be a movie I haven't seen. Or if it's a movie I have seen, I have to have added a bunch to that list beforehand. Is my thought process. So I just throw this in for fun. It's got a weird art style because it's all motion captured. Yeah. And it's trying to marry realism with the cartoony style of the comic it's based on.
Okay.
That's right. It kind of works.
Yeah.
And it's kind of Uncanny Valley at the same time.
I gotcha. I heard about that.
Yeah. It's a very fun movie. It's like I hate to say kids Indiana Jones because kids should be allowed to watch Indiana Jones. But it's definitely a more family-friendly Indiana Jones than Indiana Jones is. So
I gotcha.
It was a fun little movie. Just keep in mind, it is British. British people made it. It's based on a French comic.
Gotcha.
And some of their humor is a little more subtle.
That is true. It is British overall.
Yes, but I liked that the Daniel Craig's character, because he's the villain of the piece, was named Mr. Saccharin.
Okay.
At one point, part of his plan is he's using a opera singer to break this glass at the Sultan's palace, and because he actually is like her manager also.
Okay.
So she introduces him as, I don't remember, but it was a funny pun.
Okay.
I can't remember how she pronounced it. It was like, Mr. Saccharin Additive. Additive. Additive.
Oh,
it's
gosh.
Like, did you just make... Yeah, you did. Nobody's going to get that. And this is the only character who has a name that's a pun. Nobody else does. But anyway, it was a fun movie. So I highly suggest that one.
Excellent.
What have we got in the news?
All right. So what do we got in the news? Well, as usual, I'm doodling.
I asked you.
Yeah. So as usual, I'm doodling. So you might see that on my Facebook page at some point. He
is doodling at least one of 4 different reptilian ninjas.
They're turtles.
Turtles are reptiles.
I know. I'm making a joke. All right. So what is the news? All right. So as probably most people know, the 92nd Academy Awards nominations have been released, and we got the best animated features. And here's our nominees.
Yes.
How to Train Your Dragon: The Hidden World by DreamWorks / Universal.
Good choice.
I Lost My Body.
Don't know it.
Yeah. Never heard of it. It's on Netflix.
And it's not Japanese, I can tell you that.
Okay. Missing Link.
I haven't watched it, but it's Aardman, so it can't be too bad.
Yeah, it just won a Golden Globe, actually.
Yeah, it's getting a lot of press, so it's going to be one I have to watch soon.
Yeah, at some point. That was released by Universal Artists. Klaus, which is like, oh my gosh, yes.
It was a great Christmas movie.
It is a great Christmas movie, and I hope it wins.
Yes.
It was released by SAP Studios on Netflix. And, of course, Toy Story 4 by Pixar Disney. So that is our nominees.
It's odd that Frozen 2 is
not on that list. Frozen 2 is not on there.
That just occurred to me.
Yeah.
Because normally, by the way Oscar pickings are done, Frozen 2 should be on there before Toy Story 4.
I agree with you. And honestly, now, which one do you think is better? Frozen 2 or Toy Story 4?
As a question I didn't think was ever going to be. They're entirely different. The animation, I think, is just... I mean, there's a little bit more realism, of course, in the Pixar stuff because of how how they handle the human world in that series.
Yeah, I agree with that.
There's a lot of very imaginative things in Toy Story 4. There's a lot of imaginative things in Frozen 2. Under normal circumstances, I wouldn't compare them.
Okay.
But if I have to pick one, Frozen 2, because I don't like Forky.
Okay.
I'm just being honest. If I have to knock either movie down for something, Forky will do it every time.
I gotcha.
He is the Jar Jar Binks of this franchise.
Yeah, that's true. That is so true.
I know a lot of people like him, but I don't.
Hey, we all have our opinions, and our opinions are our own.
There's a reason I'm not watching his series on Disney Plus.
Oh yeah, there's
it's all him.
Oh, hey.
Plus, I don't like how Disney Plus is handling their shorts.
Oh, okay.
They are listing them all as individual, like movies.
Yeah.
Which means if you're wanting to watch a bunch in a row, like say all the Spark shorts, or Marvel's got an upcoming short thing.
Okay.
I think you have to go into the search and pray the random number generator that shows you the collections is showing you the collection you're wanting to see. Or you just have to pick one and pray it's on that list too.
Oh.
It's kind of weird. If you're watching it when it's brand new, of course, not going to matter.
Yeah.
But I don't understand why they don't just put it in a series like they do with TV series. That's just my thoughts.
Okay.
Anyway.
All right. So with our 5 nominees, who would you...
Of the 5
that would win?
Well, like I said, I have not seen...
The ones you have seen.
Yeah, that's leaves 3, which is Toy Story 4, Klaus, and...
Dragons.
Dragons?
Okay.
It's going to be Dragons because I think Dragons is a very... None of the other movies on that list that I've seen have that heart to it that Dragons had.
Oh, I agree. That's
just that's just the honest truth of it. And I didn't cry at the end during Dragons, but it was of the 3, it was the least disappointing because it felt like it was the completion of that trilogy.
Yeah.
Toy Story 4 feels like, well, you know that we finished the series last time. Now we're just going to do this other story so that Woody will leave. Spoiler alert.
It's already out on Blu-ray DVD.
Yeah, I know, but... And then Klaus is a good movie.
Yeah.
It's very well animated. I enjoyed it. And if I hadn't seen it on this list, it would not have crossed my mind as being weird not being on the Academy Awards.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
I know that's stupid, but there's stuff I would have put on there before Klaus.
Oh, okay.
As good as it is. There's stuff I would have put on there before Klaus.
Yeah, I would agree with you.
Namely, Frozen 2 is one of them.
That is true. That is so true. I think personally, because I am absolutely torn because I loved Klaus. Klaus was an amazing movie.
Right.
And How to Train Your Dragon, there again, was an amazing movie. I actually kind of teared up a little bit because there again, be like, I'm more of an emotional guy. But it was so good. It was such a good movie. So I think I'll have to give it to Dragon. Even though it'd be like, I hate to say that, be like, to me, it's going to be Dragon. So I think we're in unison in Dragon.
Plus, I'll admit, I'm a little biased as that was the first tie-in episode we ever did between How to Train Your Dragon 1, and then that movie came out that week.
That is true.
So, yeah, I'm a little biased.
Yeah, that is true. All right. So going into further news, and surprise to no one except for the cat in the background,
Goose is not surprised. He just looks hungry.
Yeah, that's true. Don't eat this, man. This is not going to be fun. Either way. So, apparently, starting January 17th, Frozen 2 is coming back to theaters with a sing-along.
As my grandfather always said, those of you who are surprised, stand on your left ear.
Makes good sense.
None of you are surprised.
At all. But
if anything, I'm more surprised the movie didn't come out with the lyrics already on the screen.
Yeah.
But then they wouldn't get their extra bump in money.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah.
Of course, I also don't want to be in a theater with 100 kids trying, quote unquote, trying to sing these songs.
Anyway, so yeah, if you missed the chance to watch Frozen 2 in theaters, this will give you another opportunity. But a third, and finally, not at least, are you familiar with the anime TV series My Hero Academia?
I am aware. I'm behind.
Okay, so I think it was a couple of years ago, it'd be like 2 years ago. Apparently, they released a theatrical film.
Yes.
Apparently, they're releasing another one.
That doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, this is going to be My Hero Academia, Heroes Rising, will hit theaters February 26th, and it will be released in over 1,000 theaters across the U.S. and Canada, both in English and English subtitles and dubs. You will be able to, if you are a fan of My Hero Academia, you can pre-order your tickets January 21st.
Have you actually watched any of the show?
No, I have not.
You should.
I should. I know.
Very, very good show, especially if you like superheroes. It is a Japanese take on superheroes, but it's very much no superhero stuff.
Okay.
It's not like One Punch Man where it's just making fun of the concept.
Right.
These superheroes actually feel like they belong in DC or Marvel.
Yeah.
But they're their own universe.
Mm-hmm.
And it's about these kids going to school. And there's a lot of good world building involved in how all that works.
Right. Yeah, I did have a friend that she went into a lot of detail about, because apparently she just goes, loves Hero Academia like crazy and just describing all these characters like, who? What? An invisible girl? A frog girl? Huh?
Hey, don't you talk about waifu like that. I'm kidding.
Wow. Okay.
I'm not saying I don't have. I'm not saying that. Actually, I'm not saying they're waifus. I do know who Best Girl is.
Okay. Who?
The girl you don't know is in every shot. Who she may or may not be in every shot.
Oh yeah.
Also, I like Frog Girl.
Yeah.
And all the other female characters whose names I should know and I can't think of because there's a lot of them.
Yeah.
And they're all awesome.
Good.
It's only the guys I get mad at. Especially the perv.
All right.
And I don't have to say anything more than that because anyone who watches My Hero Academia already knows who I'm talking about.
Okay. So I will definitely have to catch up on this. And where can you find this? I believe it's on Crunchyroll.
It's also on on Funimation, and I believe it's on Hulu.
Oh yeah, that's right. I think I watched like the first episode on Funimation.
Yeah.
That was a really good episode.
Mm-hmm.
It was really good. It was a lot of fun. Now, granted, Crunchyroll has a lot, not Crunchyroll, but Funimation has a lot of commercials.
If you're not subscribed.
Yeah, if you're not
I went ahead and subscribed because I hate commercials.
Yeah. I think like 99% of the population hates commercials now.
Yes.
But anyways, that is the news for this week.
So I suppose we should move into our spoiler-free review of All Dogs Go to Heaven.
Yes.
You start.
All right.
It is Don Bluth Month. That's your month choice.
All right.
You go first.
And I sense a canine spirit within with this movie.
Woof.
Wow. Either way.
Believe that.
So All I Was Go to Heaven. I remember enjoying this movie as a kid, and dang, is it dark? It's a lot
darker than I remember.
Yes, I do too. But
admittedly, he does have to die in order to go to heaven so that the story can take place.
Yes, that is true. It's in the title, so it's not really a spoiler.
No, it happens in like the first 15 minutes.
That is true.
It's after the first song, but
yeah, that's true. I'd forgotten this movie had songs. I'd be like vaguely remember it had songs,
they're
but
not good songs.
No, they're not.
Not really.
No, they're not.
They are there.
They are there. I enjoyed it. It's one of those films that as a kid I loved, and as an adult I have a huge appreciation for. That it has a really amazing story, and you just feel really bad for one of the characters, which we'll go into later. of the in the spoiler section of this movie, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. I loved it. It's definitely not for everybody.
No.
Without the enrichment of so many themes that are more adult oriented and are more mature. Let's say that.
Yes.
They're more mature themes, and that's kind of a staple of Don Bluth. He doesn't shy away from the darker, more mature themes. But it is an enjoyable film. I love it. The animation is just wonderful. The characters are great. They do have their qualms. We'll go into those later. But I enjoy it. And I definitely loved this rewatching after many decades. How about you?
This is one of those VHSs that I had as a kid that my grandpa recorded off of Disney Channel of all places.
Huh.
That I wore out.
Oh, okay.
I think it was Disney Channel. It is strange that a lot of the Don Bluth stuff was recorded off Disney Channel that I watched, which is odd when you consider how Don Bluth and Disney were doing at the time.
Yeah, that's true.
Especially since this was Universal.
Well, technically it was in MGM.
MGM, but Universal's got the release at the moment, I believe.
Yeah.
But you would think, I don't know how the release was at that time, or why. I guess Disney Channel is still a channel that has to have stuff, and they don't always have Disney stuff to show, I suppose.
Oh, yeah.
But I do think that was weird. I remember watching it and loving it as a kid. I don't remember, and I remember there was some dark parts, but I did not remember how throughout. I don't know if I just blocked them out and just didn't remember them. I knew some stuff. I remember the heaven sequence to some degree.
Oh, yeah.
I remembered the devil at the end.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
That thing scared the ever-loving pee-waddling doodle out of me as a child. Not that anyone knew it.
Yeah, well...
But who wouldn't that scare?
Well, it is a Don Bluth film, after all.
Yes.
He does potentially scaring the kiddies a little bit.
Honestly, I forgot Anne-Marie was in this to such a large amount.
Yeah.
To me, it was just the dogs.
Yeah, same here.
Building a casino, and then at one point, they come across this girl that they have to save.
Yeah.
And they realize 30 minutes into the movie that was the major plot point for the rest of the movie.
Right.
I just remembered, okay, I know they find this girl in the junkyard. Did you remember that it was Carface? Hey, let's not get into that.
Yeah.
Sorry. Back up. Moving right along. It's an enjoyable movie. It's fun. And, I would actually say it's for kids, but it's for an older set of kids.
Yeah, I would definitely say it's for an older
around 10 to 12, I would think.
Well, oddly enough, as a kid, I remember I was a young
I watched it at 5, but
yeah. But yeah, be like it's definitely a family friendly film that you just gotta take it with a grain of salt because it is dark and has
very dark, and yeah,
all right,
smoking.
Yeah, a lot of smoking. And so, yeah, I'll bring up another point later when we get into our spoiler review. So,
let's move into our spoiler-filled review of the movie, All Dogs Go to Heaven. The following is a spoiler-filled review of the movie, All Dogs Go to Heaven. Listener discretion is advised. All Dogs Go to Heaven was directed, and the story was written by, and it was directed by, Don Bluth.
Mm-hmm.
His previous... some of his other directorial stuff, and I'm slowly going to be naming a lot of his directorial stuff on here.
Ever since this is Don Bluth Month.
Yes. He directed the shorts that I saw as a kid, The Small One.
Okay.
And Banjo the Woodpile Cat.
Really?
Yes.
Huh.
And then the movie Rockadoodle,
mm-hmm.
which was another one I liked as a kid.
Okay. We'll definitely come back and come to in a
maybe
future
next
episode.
year. And Titan AE was just the random one I threw in there.
Yeah, I love that movie.
I did not see that one until I was out of high school. Just because of how that one worked out. But I remember it being good.
I saw it 3 times in theaters.
I'm not surprised. The story was also written by Ken Cromar,
mm-hmm.
Gary Goldman, Larry Lecker, Linda Miller, Monica Parker, John Pomeroy, Guy Schulman, and David J. Steinberg.
Wow, it's just a whole litter of writers.
Also, the story and screenplay was written by David N. Weiss.
Wow.
So for those of you trying to keep track, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 story writers.
Wow.
But only one person wrote the screenplay, so that's why it still seems as coherent as it is.
Huh.
But David N. Weiss, he wrote the screenplays for Shrek 2,
Yeah.
The Smurfs, the live action one,
Oh, okay.
and Jimmy Neutron Boy Genius.
Okay, then.
That movie,
Ah.
not the show. And then the music was by Ralph Burns, who was the composer on The Muppets Take Manhattan, Urban Cowboy, and Vacation.
Oh, okay. 2 of those I've seen.
Urban Cowboy and Vacation.
No.
Muppets Take Manhattan and Urban Cowboy?
Oh, never mind. One of them. No, none of them. Never mind. Cut. cut that out.
Okay. I didn't figure you'd watched any of the Muppet stuff.
Well, I mean,
so
I honestly...
that's why I assumed it must have been Urban Cowboy and Vacation.
Yeah, honestly, I'd forgotten.
Even though I didn't think you'd seen Vacation.
No, I haven't seen Vacation. I kept thinking it was a Christmas Vacation. I was like, oh, I've seen that one.
Movie.
Okay. Gotcha.
Entirely different movie.
All right.
All right. So
Start
the
over.
curse. The cast is as follows. Burt Reynolds played Charlie B. Barkin, the most punerific name in the movie.
Oh, yes.
In Smokey and the Bandit, he played Bandit.
Mm-hmm.
And in the movie Deliverance, he played Lewis.
Mm-hmm.
Dom DeLuise played Itchyford.
Yeah.
Anyway,
It's for
he was Tiger in An American Tale.
yes.
Jeremy in The Secret of Nim.
Okay.
And Emperor Nero in History of the World Part 1.
Oh my gosh, he was?
Yes.
Scary.
I haven't
That's
watched
scary.
History of the World Part 1. And
Me either.
And for those who don't know, there's no any other parts to this movie. It is a Mel Brooks movie.
Okay, yeah, kind of oddly enough, because when they were recording this film, apparently Burt Reynolds, not trying to confuse with another actor, Burt Reynolds and Don DeLuise had been so buddy, they actually recorded their lines together.
That doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
Especially a lot of these scenes.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely tell they're playing off of each other.
Mm-hmm.
Judith Barcy played Anne Marie.
Mm-hmm.
And she previously played Ducky in The Land Before Time.
Yes.
And for those of you wanting to know the whole story there, go check our Facebook group out. I posted the link there because I didn't want to talk about it on the podcast.
Yeah.
But it's a very sad story.
Yes, this is very sad.
Melba Moore played the Whippet Angel. And the only thing I could find is she was a Grammy Award-winning singer. She had no other major... Well, she had some other roles, but none of them were major.
Oh, okay. Whippet Angel?
That's apparently the breed of dog the angel was.
Oh, okay. Okay, that makes sense.
And Charlie even calls her that at one point.
That's right. Boy, is he a spook talker.
Yeah. By the way, these are in the order they are on the cast list.
Okay.
So Daryl Gilley played Dog Catcher. It says Caster on here, and I typed that straight from IMDb, so IMDb needs to get that fixed. But apparently, this person only had one other acting credit. Sorry, one other credit, period.
Okay.
And that was as the narrator and detective McSmog in something called Miss Nelson is Missing.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
And then Candy Devine played Vera, who I couldn't figure out who Vera was.
Okay.
The quote just was the thing at the end of the movie where, Charlie says, I know we're in heaven and we're dead, but can't we liven the music up? And she says, oh yeah, baby, or something like that.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That was the only quote on IMDb for me to figure who she was.
Oh, okay.
I don't know who she is.
Okay.
But it's listed, and I couldn't find anything she'd been in before.
Okay.
That was of any note.
It was kind of like, what was the
balladeer last time. But
oh, okay.
As I didn't know what a balladeer was, it didn't occur to me that
about
someone who's singing a ballad. I was thinking balla space deer.
It's some deer in the background somewhere.
Yeah, it's like, and I didn't remember any mammals in that movie. But anyway,
yeah, they're all lizards, I think.
Yeah, Charles Nelson Riley played Killer.
Oh yeah, who?
Killer.
No, but who's he voiced
Charles
by?
Nelson Riley.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
He was the voice of Mr. Toad in Wind in the Willows. And for those of you who have ever watched SpongeBob SquarePants, he's the voice of the Dirty Bubble.
Okay.
One of Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy's arch nemesis.
Okay, then. For a person who's never seen SpongeBob, okay, then.
I have not helped you at all, have I?
No, I'm alone in the dark in my kennel on this one.
Right. I lost my place. Oh, here. Vic Tayback played Carface.
Okay.
And on the television show Alice, he played Mel. Apparently the cook at the restaurant.
Oh, okay.
Rob Fuller was Harold, which was the father of the one they stole the wallet from.
Yeah.
He wasn't in anything else I saw of note, and neither was his wife, Kate, who was played by Earlene Carey. Anna Manahan plays Stella Dallas, and in Clash of the Titans, she was a Stygian witch.
Okay, then.
Nigel Pegram played Sir Reginald, and in the more recent BBC Poirot series,
Okay.
he played Reverend Babington.
Okay.
Lonnie Anderson played Flo, and on the television show WKRP in Cincinnati, she played Jennifer Marlowe, the secretary who was actually the smartest person there.
Okay.
You need to watch that show if you haven't, specifically episode 8.
Gotcha.
The turkey drop episode.
I gotcha. I'll take a note on that.
Yes. Especially around Thanksgiving.
Okay.
Ken Page played King Gator, or as I like to think of him as the alligator ex machina.
Yeah.
Deus ex alligator. And in The Nightmare Before Christmas, and in Kingdom Hearts and Kingdom Hearts 2,
Yeah, we'll go.
he was the voice of Oogie Boogie.
Of course.
And that's my list.
I gotcha. So, for our audience who's probably listening and probably thinking, you missed this actor, he was great in this show. Well, if we miss somebody, if we miss a role in which some a voice actor had been in, let us know. Because, there again, we do make mistakes and we do miss things.
And we don't know everybody.
Exactly.
And I'm just going through the list and okay, I've seen that. I know who that is. I've seen this. I know this. I've not seen this, but I know this is popular. But I don't know if this is a major role because I've not seen this.
Okay.
This happens sometimes on these things.
So if you do know of like other roles that you just are in love with this actor or actress, please let us know on our Facebook group.
Yes.
Either way, so let's get into production and release date and budget.
Yes.
All right. So this was produced by Sullivan Bluth Studios Ireland Incorporated, along with Goldcrest Films and Sweetbox Animations. Mm-hmm. It was originally I forgot how to say the word. All right. Originally snarf. I can't say the word for some reason.
Distributed.
Thank you. The movie was distributed by MGM, which is Metro Goldwyn Mayer Studios, and then was later released by Universal.
I think it's Universal.
Yeah, it's Universal. All right. So the movies were released on November 17th, 1989.
Mm-hmm.
Think about where I was in 1989. All right.
I was 4.
I was in school.
This was the year I had the broken leg. That's probably why I watched this movie so much.
Okay. All right. So we had a budget of 14.8 as I stretch out to touch my screen.
Yes.
$14.8 million budget.
Mm-hmm.
Its opening weekend U.S. release was $4+ million. Its U.S. total release was $27.1 million, and its worldwide release was the exact same. So, yeah. I mean, this movie did pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good. So, that's all I've got release-wise.
I will say this was the last of the movies that was released posthumously. Here.
Oh, the actress?
Yeah, I can't think of her name. Judith Barcy.
Yeah,
The other one that was released posthumously was Land Before Time.
Yeah.
I did not realize that until I was doing that research.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Yeah, actually, this movie was... The ending song on this one was actually dedicated to her.
Mm-hmm.
Because she had tragically died.
She was murdered by her
father. Her father.
But,
yeah, the song in the movie is dedicated to her memory.
Well, apparently Ducky was her favorite role that she had done. So
really?
Her headstone says, "Our concrete angel, yep, yep, yep."
Oh, okay.
That's kind of sweet in a way.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, but at the same time, it's incredibly tragic and sad.
Incredibly tragic and sad, and I still can't believe that happened. So
yeah, it happens when you're alcoholic and you get jealous,
and many other things.
So, but anyway,
moving right along.
Yeah,
I guess that leads us to our synopsis.
Yes.
So, Itchy breaks Charlie out of the dog pound.
Yes,
which is the closest thing to dog jail.
Well, technically, he was on death row.
So he was about to be euthanized.
Yes.
But he still broke out of jail.
Yes.
And they head back to Charlie and Carface's casino that Carface has taken over.
Yeah.
Because Carface is the one that got him in jail and on death row in the first place.
He set him up.
Yes. And so things apparently have not been good in the casino, which still makes you wonder why they're still going to the casino. But hey, what do I know?
Well, technically, like even according to Charlie, be like it's doing well.
It's doing well, but they're talking about how it's not, the people aren't really happy with it anymore.
Yeah, that's true.
But it's doing well, so that's why people aren't happy.
Yeah,
they're not winning as much.
Yeah,
but
like things are being rigged or something like that.
Yeah, amazing how that works. So Charlie comes in, makes a big show. Killer happens to see that he's back and goes and tells his boss, which Charlie is apparently right behind Killer. And Carface talks Charlie into taking about half, the business is half his anyway.
Yeah.
So before they come and find him, go ahead and he wants him to go ahead and take his half and get out of there. And they're going to have a party that night in order to celebrate his newfound venture.
Yeah, in which Itchy actually overhears the plot.
This is all a lie.
Yes.
Carface, while they do take him to go out for drinks, it's mostly to get him doggy drunk.
Yes.
And then they say, we're going to take you out back for a big surprise. So they put a blindfold on him, put him on the end of the pier, and drop a car on him.
Well, technically he gets run over by a car and
Same
drops in the river.
Difference. And so Charlie goes to heaven because, as the movie title says, all dogs go to heaven.
Roll credits.
Anyway, Charlie wakes up in heaven, doesn't realize where he is, meets us up with this angel who can't sing. Well, she can sing, but the singing is
she
weird.
can sing.
This is a weird song.
Yeah, I agree.
Because it's like 5 songs in one.
Well, I can say this. She sings a little better than Burt Reynolds.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll give you that. So, she tells him he's dead. He doesn't like this. He realizes Carface killed him. He's been set up. But he's not taking her word for it. And so she takes him up to the watch room to show him his watch, which is stopped. And Charlie has a great idea. Can't you just rewind it like you can with any watches? Well, you can't do that because then you'll have to leave. And if you leave, you can never come back. Never come back. Never come. He's awake at the bottom of the ocean. He scares the living daylights out of a cat on the pier.
Which is great animated, by the way.
And then goes and scares the living daylights out of his good buddy Itchy.
Oh my gosh.
And so he calms him down, gets Itchy to tell him what he's found out, because he finds out that not only are these guys bad, they have a monster deep underneath the casino.
Oh, yes.
Oh, a monster? Let's go see what this thing is. Because, of course, you go see what the monster is.
Oh, yeah.
Well, spoiler alert, the monster is a little bitty girl who, for no reason the movie ever explains, can talk to animals.
Huh.
Carface gets her to talk to this rat to find out who's most likely to win, because apparently the rats are rigging their own races.
Yeah, and apparently the horses are too.
Apparently. So they save her from that, take her back to Itchy's trash dump.
They kidnap her for
kidnap
other.
her.
Yeah, they kidnap
They
her.
kidnap her, but they do it in the guise of rescuing her.
Yeah.
Because they are going to now use her for their own nefarious means.
Yeah.
Like getting her to talk to horses to find out who's going to win. Because it's his birthday, and he's apparent. And to quote Itchy, he's a walking glue factory. But it's his birthday, so the Grand Cheehaw is going to win. Spoiler alert: Grand Cheehaw wins because everybody else slows down
and pushes them into the...
Yes. I don't even think he's aware what's going on. He doesn't know he probably doesn't even know it's his birthday.
Probably not. But
so
I do have to say about that scene where she's talking to the horses, and all you hear is their neighing. The female horse. Oh my gosh, that horse is the big lips.
Yes,
that's a big-lipped horse.
No, it's New Orleans.
Yeah.
I'll cut that.
Okay.
There's a lot of. I'm just gonna say there's a lot of big-lipped things here.
Yes, there are.
So
a certain character will come to very shortly.
So they go and win their money, and they keep
Why
winning.
do dogs need money?
They keep winning, and they keep winning, and they in the process of this, they end up finding this family. Yeah. Actually, before any of the betting happens, they end up using the little girl to distract this couple so they can steal their wallets.
Which with Itchy's really bad acting.
Yes. So they steal the wallet, they make bets, and she's starting to feel bad about it because it's like, well, we what are we going to use all this money for? You're just using it to get rich. She's like, you're acting just like Carface. She says, oh no, we're going to buy you some dresses so you can meet more people and then give some money to the poor. And I guess they do technically do this.
Yeah.
But they also build their own casino out in the middle of the junkyard.
Yeah.
So.
And a good point you had brought up earlier before we recorded was the fact that, like, why do these dogs need the money?
Exactly, because they didn't need that money because they didn't buy the junkyard.
No, they built it.
All the stuff they built it was in the junkyard.
Unless the booze, I guess. And the stakes be like unless
in the other casino, the currency we saw was stakes.
Yeah.
Why do you need cash here? Anyways, that's something to talk about when we get to dislikes.
Yes.
So, in order to appease her, they go and buy her some dresses that we see in one montage and never see again.
Right.
And then we go to take some pizza to the puppies at the orphanage because they're the poorest people he knows. And at this point, she overhears Charlie and Itchy having an argument where Charlie says, I'm just using her. There's nothing to be attached to. And that makes her cry, and she leaves to go find the Wallet family, as they call them. Well, Charlie goes and finds her there. She's having waffles. And Charlie convinces her to go with him because, he's just going to leave because she's with her family now. They don't need a mangy dog like him hanging around.
And
I'm just going to leave.
Sick and blah, 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 blah.
So she leaves them to go hang out with her dog. Moving her along.
Yeah.
This is a stupid idea. But I don't remember how we get to the alligator at this point. I just know the alligator's next.
Well, as far as I remember, it was that Anne-Marie gets kidnapped by Carface.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, she gets kidnapped. Charlie and his buddy Itchy go to break her out. They both get trapped,
and they fall down in this big deep hole where these rats.
Rats carry them off.
These voodoo rat things. Carry them off. They think they're going to die. They throw them into this bayou.
Yeah.
That's what it has to be.
An island of skulls.
Island of skulls. And at some point, Charlie ends up having to howl because he got hurt or something. And the gator goes, I can't eat him. He's a singer. He's a performer. What are you, tenor or bass? It's like... And it goes into this big, weird...
very odd
sequence that is the flip out of nowhere. I was like, what is going on? What is happening? Huh?
It's a Don Bluth movie. Let's just roll with it.
So we move on. We get to... They find Anne-Marie where Carface is holding her out by the ship.
Yeah.
And things go to heck.
Yeah.
Ship sinks. Anne-Marie barely gets saved, but in order to do that, Charlie ends up not being able to keep a hold of his watch.
Yeah,
that's keeping him alive this whole time that he stole from heaven.
Yeah.
It stops, he dies. Well, as the angel said, you can never go back. So he does at least come back long enough to say goodbye to Anne-Marie before he goes before he thinks he's going off to Hades.
Yeah.
Because the devil is in the sky above New Orleans saying, Charlie, hurry up. Charlie. And then big blue light comes and dissipates the devil because that is the power of God. And says, Charlie, come home. But you said I couldn't come back. You saved this girl's life. You gave her your life for her. Come home. I'm thinking, okay. Oh, by the way, Carface died in that last scene.
Yes, he gets chased around the gator.
So, yeah, he got eaten by the gator.
He gator food.
So the movie ends. Charlie is and Carface now is in heaven because all dogs go to heaven. Does the same thing Charlie does, and Angel saying, "If you do that, you'll never come back." And he runs off, and then Charlie looks at the screen and says, "Oh, he'll be back." And I'm thinking, "No, he won't. You had a shred of dignity. Carface doesn't. Carface is going to Sheol."
Good one, by the way.
Yes. And that is All Dogs Go to Heaven.
All in a dog bowl.
Yes. Which raises the question, if all dogs go to heaven, where do cats go?
Well, they are kind of...
Anyway, I'm a cat guy. Let's move on.
Yeah. Why haven't they made that movie yet?
I'll just say you'll never know love like the tolerance of a cat.
Until you hack them off, they're going to try to beat you over that.
I said tolerance of a cat.
Either way.
So, what was your first like?
First like would be the animation. Mm-hmm. The animation movie is so spot on. It's beautiful. The run sequences are very nice. The character animations, and oddly enough, this is the first movie where Don Bluth has an actual human cast in the movie. Mm-hmm. And those are done very well. I mean, there's a few hiccups here and there, but it's drawn beautifully.
Yes.
The character of Anne-Marie is done incredibly well. You get all of her expressions and all that great stuff.
And you can definitely see the Disney influence.
Yes, you can.
On his art style.
Yes, you can. It has a robust animation that it has these amazing backgrounds that they don't move, but you can just... Mm-hmm. If I had the chance in the 90s and had, the financial wealth to as a kid, I would have bought one of those things.
Yeah.
But sadly enough, they're probably... Anyways. Mm-hmm. Animation in this movie is absolutely stunning. Now, mind you, this came out in 1989. And so it literally... did it give...
You can tell this is also the first time he used CG.
Yeah, there's the first... Yeah, there's a little bit of CG.
Yeah.
But
it's not CG. It's the drawing the lines and then coloring it in later.
Well, technically, this was the same year as The Little Mermaid. And The Little Mermaid was actually using computer-generated graphics.
Right, but this is using stuff more along the lines of the Great Mouse Detective's Clock Tower.
Oh, okay.
That's what I'm mostly referring to. Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
Caps was used in Little Mermaid.
Yes.
And this movie used something similar. It couldn't be Caps.
Yeah.
Because that was Disney proprietary, but it does use something similar. I was mostly just referring to the obvious 3D models. Because they are obvious. Yeah. And they're used a lot.
That is true. All right, so that is my number one. What is your number one?
My number one, like all Don Bluth movies, there's always something interesting to look at in the background.
Yes.
It's not that I find the movies boring and I'm just looking at the background looking for something interesting to see.
Right.
Because that's not the case.
Yeah.
It's just I know there's always something in the background. There's two interesting things I caught.
Okay.
In the beginning of the movie when they're at Carface and Charlie's casino.
Yeah.
Right before he goes into You Can't Keep a Good Dog Down. Mm-hmm. Charlie walks past a receipt that's in one of the I say it's a receipt. It's a note. It's a piece of paper that's near one of the this thing. The thing where you go down, you do that, not a roulette, but slot machine.
There we go.
Yeah. He walks past. There's a piece of paper stuck in a slot machine he walks past that says Bert's something.
That's right.
Bert's Winnings or something like that.
Bert's Winnings.
And then when they go to did you catch the name of Itchy's junkyard?
What is it?
Don's.
Oh.
Now, his name is Dom, not
Yeah.
Don.
Yeah.
It's close enough.
Yeah.
So I find it interesting that the two places where these characters would probably consider home at the beginning of the movie
Yeah.
have their names on it somewhere.
Yeah. The voice
The
actors.
voice actors' names on it
Yes.
somewhere. Found that was interesting. And it was kind of a cool little thing. And there's stuff like that all throughout this movie.
Oh, yeah.
Because, of course, every one of these background plates is a work of art.
Absolutely.
And they spend a lot of time on it. I lost where I was going. Anyway, that's the first thing, is the fact that every single one of these, every single frame in this movie, whether good or bad, has amazing artwork in it. So, what's your number 2?
Completely agree with that. My second. Technically, I never write that down, but
Face down.
yeah. Second would probably be the characters themselves. Because how well these characters are, like, one, they're designed incredibly well.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that Charlie, he says, well, he's a mix. He's a mixed breed.
He's a mutt.
He's a mutt, but looks like a German Shepherd.
Yes. I don't know what he's a mutt with, but he's mostly German Shepherd.
Yeah, he said he's a lot of mix.
Yeah.
But
Mainly German Shepherd.
Mainly German Shepherd. But how these be like our characters, their personalities, their flaws, where you have a lot of, like, definitely in a lot of Disney films, be like characters have flaws, but they're not huge flaws.
Yeah.
In this movie,
They're
you have
flawed enough to give them dimension, but not enough to actually be, horrible.
Yeah, exactly. In this movie, you see all their flaws. Every bit of the fact.
Every character has a flaw except for Anne-Marie.
Anne-Marie.
She's an angel.
Yeah, pretty much. But just the characters, their motivations was just so incredibly interesting.
Mm-hmm.
They had this. It made them more realistic. Made them
Yes.
more realistic than you have. Charlie and Itchy, and they're be like gotta be rich, and be like using Anne-Marie for their purposes, the exact way the car face used her.
Yes,
and good. I mean, like, it was so engaging. All the characters are so engaging. It was like, oh my god, wow, okay, interesting. Anyway, so yeah, that's my number 2. What's your number 3? 2.
My number 2 is the obvious fun that Dom DeLuise and Burt Reynolds had in this movie.
Oh yes,
I don't care when they are weaker apart.
Yeah,
when you see them separate on screen, like you would assume, but they come when they are on screen together. They are They are almost in sync with what's going on.
Yeah.
Even when Itchy is scared that Ghost Charlie is going to come and kill him.
Oh yeah.
When he first comes back, but they're able to the way they talk off one another, you can tell they're good friends. The friendship feels real, like almost a closer than brother situation.
Yeah,
between these two characters.
Yeah,
the fact that Itchy is probably more aware of how evil Carface and his cronies are compared to Charlie.
Oh yeah. I think Charlie's he's more of a laid back, smooth character. He doesn't really pay attention to everything,
which he never learns from.
No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't.
Despite the fact that caused him to get killed.
Yeah, that's true.
He never learns from this.
Even Itchy tries desperately to warn Charlie, and Charlie's like, oh man, great idea. Let's go to a party.
And the thing I liked the most was at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
The last thing he tells Anne-Marie is to take care of Itchy.
Yeah.
Because he knows he's a good dog and deserves better than what he's had up to that point.
True.
And he cares enough for his friend / brother.
Yeah.
To the point it's like, you deserve a home too.
Yeah.
I'm going to this is the last thing I do before I head off to
Hades, like he thinks he's going to at that point, I'm going to have you, I want you to take care of him because he needs it. You don't do that for anybody.
No, you don't.
Do that for your friends.
Oh, yeah.
Your very close friends. And that touched me in such in a close way. How he made sure his friend was taken care of.
Oh, yeah.
As one last favor. And the fact that he then goes to heaven is secondary.
Yeah.
But it's not secondary, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So, yeah, what was your number 3 like?
My number 3 would actually be Charlie's redemption. That you have this character who is so incredibly selfish. So incredibly selfish that he basically is doing the exact same thing Carface was using Anne-Marie for. And just being be like, I'm just be like the point where Charlie spills the beans and Anne-Marie overhears it. It's like you get his entire motivation behind everything. We know his motivation. Yeah. But when chose between saving Anne-Marie and basically saving his own life via the watch, be like, he struggles with that. Be like, he's trying to do both, but then he realizes, I've got to save the kid.
Yes. Be like, she is more important than me.
Yeah, very much so. And be like, gives his life for this little girl. And, it is very touching that he does that. Be like, obviously you don't see him, physically die. You see the bubbles rise up and the boat sink. Yeah. But it's very moving that a character who was so deplorable throughout most of the film, be like, yeah, you liked him, but at the same time, he was not a good dog. No. Not a good dog in the slightest. But his last act was very redeemable, that it was heartwarming that he did that. And even though he could have been selfish and be like, I'm going to let this kid drown and save my own neck. But he didn't.
Which is how he would have acted before then.
Yeah, exactly. But he had become attached to the kid. And so, yeah, it was very heartwarming to see, this redemption arc. Even though it was at the last second that, no, I wouldn't say that. I would say that be like he's warmed up to Anne-Marie. Like, even to the point where it'd be like when she like kisses him the last time, he doesn't really rub it off and like that. Yeah. But his redemption arc is so amazing that even the worst of worst can be redeemed. What is your number 3?
My number 3 is pretty much your number 3, but I'm going to jump on a couple other points. Okay. At the beginning of this movie, he is very much leading a very sinful life. Correct. To use some church terms, because honestly, I saw this and went, oh, there's church symmetry, symbolism thrown in here, whether they mean to it or not. And yeah, they go to heaven, but this is not heaven as the Bible kind of shows it. This is very much a secular heaven. I mean, she even says, welcome to doing whatever you wish. Yeah. That's not heaven. Yeah. But also,
as far as we know. Yeah, to point out the scene you're talking about with the heaven scene where they're going through the...
You do have a lion and a lamb sleeping next to each other.
Yes, I enjoyed that. I was like, oh, that's so much fun.
Oh, yes. But here's the thing. He's in the depths of his sin there. He dies because apparently in this world, dogs get a free pass to heaven because they are naturally more loyal than humans.
Yeah, they're man's best friend.
Right. But apparently, because of the weird law that says if they don't believe they're dead, we can take them to the watchroom and show them their stopped watch, and maybe they won't accidentally steal it and wind it back and go back to Earth. Right. Because I'm curious as to why that's even a possible thing. Yeah. But that's beside the point. Yeah. Him going to heaven, I think, was the beginning of that redemption. Okay. Because he comes back, his first thought was, I'm going to kill Carface for killing me. Yeah. It's very much the eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth thing that people think is justice. And it is justice, but... Yeah.
It's more of an earthly justice.
So he... Of course, he knows he needs help. He goes, talks to his buddy. After scaring the crap out of him. Yeah. Gets his buddy to tell him, oh, there's a monster over beneath Carface's thing. Yeah. He says, oh, well, let's see what that is. Let's see what that actually is. Because you calling something a monster, you could be misunderstanding. That happens all the time. And plus, this is my excuse to get you to Carface's casino so we can go up and kill him. Because that's what his entire goal is at this point.
Oh, yeah. It's revenge.
And he sees this girl. Whatever
rationalization he brings to it, which in this case was, oh, we'll do the same thing he was doing.
Right.
Well, to get this girl out of here. I think to some degree he was already thinking, how can I help her?
Yeah.
To some degree. He wouldn't admit this even to himself.
Yeah.
But he was already changed by this point. Immediately, as soon as he saw her, the thoughts of killing Carface went away.
Yeah.
To his detriment to
Yeah.
the story, but
That is true.
the thoughts of killing Carface went away. So he goes and tries to help this girl, even though to some degree he's using her for his own gain.
Yeah.
But every time he does something, does something for himself, he is also thinking of her.
Yeah, that is true.
Except for the part where he goes and kidnaps her from the family she gets at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
But that's where his darker side comes in. He's very much in that struggle between his old sinful self
Yeah.
and his righteous self that he's slowly gaining since he left heaven.
Yeah.
Strangely enough. To the point where by the end, you get to that point where he's trying to save either her or the watch.
Yeah.
Her or the watch. He's trying to do both. Now, which one of us, when we know what the right thing to do is, don't try to do it and do what we think is good for us at the same time?
Yeah.
I think that's kind of a normal thing. We try
Yeah.
to do both things until we realize we can't, and we have to make the decision.
Yeah, there's
at the last minute. And those who are saved, those who are Christians,
yeah.
I would like to think, those who are really Christians,
Yeah.
would save the girl.
Yeah.
But those who are in it for themselves,
Yeah.
they're going to save the watch.
Yeah,
And so while he's very much a conflicted character
Right.
throughout most of this movie, going between do I do what's right or do I do what's right for me?
Yeah.
He finally, I don't think he would have, if he had run into this girl before his trip to heaven.
Yeah.
Yeah, he would have kidnapped her.
Yeah.
To get back at Carface for whatever wrong that didn't kill him
yeah.
was. Attempted murder, let's say.
Yeah.
Because that's the closest I can think of to where it would still give the same type of response. But he wouldn't have cared about her. He'd have been even as bad as Carface to that girl.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Had he not seen, I think, whatever he got his glimpse of heaven.
Yeah.
Even though he could have stayed there and all would have been hunky-dory. No, he decided to go back.
Yeah.
Because he wanted revenge.
Mm-hmm.
That's also not how heaven works. But anyway.
Yeah. Just to clarify, be like the fact that
Christian.
Yeah, we are Christian, and we do believe that there's the righteousness of God, and just to make sure that people aren't saying, well, all Christians are good. They're only people are going to do the only good things. Like
we all make mistakes. We all are sinful people trying to be better.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I'm trying to figure out how to say this without sounding appeasing to people.
I understand. I recognize I moved us into a weird thing, but when I went down this rabbit hole, but that's the only way I could think to explain how good his redemption arc is that it is, whether they intend it or not, which I don't think they were intending this,
right?
It kind of follows how Christians are once they are saved.
Yeah, I agree with that.
They're still struggling with their sinful self.
Yeah,
but they are becoming better through, for us, it's through the power of Jesus Christ.
Right.
Why Charlie's getting better just because he happened to see a glimpse of heaven, I don't know. Because he had no reason to ever think he would ever go back. He had no hope at that point, according to what the angel said.
Yeah, that's true. I'm trying to say where it's more be like even a non-Christian can do good things.
Yeah, anyone can do good things.
Yeah. So,
are you doing them for the right reason?
Yeah, exactly. So
intent is more important than what you do.
Yeah, exactly.
Unless you're doing something really bad, and we all know what that is.
Yeah. But anyways, yeah.
I mean, murders of Christians in the first century were done thinking it was in the will of God to do so.
Yeah, that is true. Saul, Paul.
Yes.
Yes. But yeah, so how do we cut that together?
I'll work it out.
Okay.
Probably I won't work it out. I'll let our talking it back and forth, trying to figure out what we're doing, stay in there to say, this is a hard thing. They don't really know how to word it.
Yeah.
So,
that'd be a good idea. Anyways.
Besides, I kind of like the raw feel. Anyway, what is your first dislike of this movie?
Well, dislike, it's not really dislike, but it's more of a, how dark this movie is. How dark, the dark themes. It gives the movie more of a realistic feel, but at the same time, it's just like you put this in a children's movie.
Yeah.
And there again, Don Bluth has been known for not pulling punches.
Right.
And, the themes of, violence, murder, abuse, drugs, and every, coercive control, the whole enchilada. It's in this movie, and it's very plain to see. And even so, there is a director's cut, which Don Bluth has, but he's never released it.
Probably for a good reason.
Because apparently there's even more scenes where the...
and it does feel like there are scenes missing.
Oh, yeah. There's definitely scenes. There's definitely scenes and songs have been deleted. Because they were trying to get the PG rating, because there's quite a bit of using. Well, there's curse words used in the movie.
The beginning of what I call the heaven scene, that song, I consider them kind of the same song, both halves of that.
Yeah,
but they are entirely different songs. So you feel like there's something missing.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. So apparently Don Bluth does have a director's cut. He hasn't shown it, or he hasn't released it, but apparently he's shown it. So that would be interesting. And plus, one of our listeners, Josh, actually pointed out that he is from Texas.
Yes.
And he has a theater here in Texas, so that'd be interesting to see at some point. Anyways, I'd definitely say the dark, as I call it, the extremely dark kids movie.
Mm-hmm.
What's your number one?
My number one dislike is Deus Ex Alligator.
Good night, yes.
I hate this alligator. His song comes right the flip out of nowhere.
That is true.
The fact that he is the only reason he's the only reason we have the happy ending we have.
Yeah,
it's not
that's true.
A completely happy ending, but it's could have been a lot worse.
Oh yeah, and the fact that it's what was it? Charlie, he hurts himself and he howls, and Big Papa Gator comes in the rescue.
It's like,
and can hear this.
And the only reason he was able to do this because he happened to get hurt and the gator fell in love with him or something.
Who knows?
It's not really explained why the gator decided not to eat him, other than I can't eat a beautiful voice like that. Okay.
Hey? But you can eat
Carface. I guess. Well, he doesn't have a beautiful voice.
Well, he is a bulldog after all. Not saying anything against bulldogs.
No, there's nothing against bulldogs, but
this was a bad bulldog.
I could see some bulldogs having better voices than him, but hey, he's a smoker.
That is true.
He probably doesn't have much of a voice left. His barks are probably more like wheezes.
Yeah.
Woof. 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 I mean, admittedly, we don't ever hear any barking in this movie, which makes Charlie's name a lie. Because it says his name is Charlie B. Barking.
Yeah.
And he never barks.
Yeah, that's true. I think we do hear one or two barks, I think, but I could be wrong.
You hear howls, but you never hear barks.
Yeah, that's true. You hear a lot of howls.
Except for the puppies. The puppies make the yip, 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 which is the closest they can do to a bark.
Yeah, that's true. Anyways.
Yes, sorry.
You're good.
I'm still on my dislike, aren't I?
Yes.
So it's one thing to throw in a weird sequence out of nowhere that gets you through a scene, because Disney, which Don Bluth is definitely influenced by, has done this all the time going through there, because you have stuff like Pink Elephants on Parade is kind of a weird thing. I'm sure I could think of some others, but right now,
a lot of the early Disneys were very trippy.
And so having something like that is interesting, but the fact that and I like that they actually worked in the story, but it feels like, he's on screen for a grand total throughout the entire movie 5 minutes,
right?
And most of that was his singing.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah, you hear him coming, and it's kind of like a cool thing. Oh yeah, the guy he was with earlier, who it's not explained why they're friends with, other than he wouldn't eat them. I don't know. It's kind of weird and funky. I don't like King Gator.
Yeah,
I like that that's probably the closest thing to New Orleans, besides the casinos.
Yeah,
that you can kind of think of as New Orleans.
And plus, they do show the French Quarter, actually.
They do show the French Quarter, and Mardi Gras.
And Mardi Gras.
And you do see the Mississippi River,
Mm-hmm.
but you don't see Lake Pontchartrain.
Weird.
Despite the fact they're within rock throwing distance. But anyway. Yeah, because the angle you do see the Mississippi at in the movie is, because I recognize the bridge because I went over it a couple times. From that angle, you should be able to at least see something of Lake Pontchartrain in the distance.
Possibly.
But you don't see that. But hey,
Meh.
maybe it doesn't matter. I don't know. But yeah, it's at least that was some Southern Louisiana flair.
Yeah, a little
It was
bit.
nice in there, but it's not, there are other movies that handle the South Louisiana flair better.
Yeah, a little bit.
That include Mice.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So, what is your number 2? Yeah, sorry.
My number 2.
I forgot what number we were on.
Yeah. My number 2 would be the conflict of villain. That, obviously, we do have Carface, who's a very bad dog.
He's a very bad dog.
And then you have Charlie, who's a very bad dog.
Mm-hmm.
And so we have this ongoing conflict of who the villain is. But like, obviously, as the audience, we know who the villain is. We know that Charlie's the good guy, but is he really a good guy until the very end?
When you look at names, and one of your characters' names is literally one letter away from being Scarface,
in which he was based off.
Obviously based off. I mean, every other Carface and Killer are the only dogs in this entire movie that don't have human names.
That is true.
I mean, Itchy is kind of close, but I can see somebody being named Itchy.
Yeah.
You got Charlie. You've got the other dogs I can't think of the names of.
Right.
But then you have Carface and Killer.
Yeah. But
I wonder who the villains are.
Yeah, that's true. But also, I'm talking about their motivations.
Yeah.
Their motivations and how they use. Because Anne Maurice is basically stuck in the middle of this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And being used literally by both dogs for their own financial gain.
Yeah.
But obviously, Charlie redeems himself. Carface, not so much. But it was always that. It's like, man, I feel really bad for Anne Marie because she's literally being used by both these dogs.
And apparently is not able to. I don't know.
Yeah, it's
She's a little on the naive side, but then again, she
is a little kid,
5-year-old girl.
Yeah, something like that. But it was so because honestly, I didn't know who to root for. Of course you root for Charlie, but at the same time, be like his motivations were all wrong. Except be like, I love your explanation earlier. Just it was so conflicting at some points.
Mm-hmm.
Be like, I kept thinking, Anne-Marie, just go live with these people and don't follow Charlie around again.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's where I kind of was with the confliction of villainy.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So what is your number 3?
Number 2.
All right. Number 2.
My number 2 dislike is how weak a villain the combination of Carface and Killer really are. They're not in this movie much.
No, they're not.
They don't really talk with our main characters much.
Yeah.
And most of their scenes besides, the party, the killing, and the end of the movie,
that's
where
true.
they're on screen. That's the only times they're on screen together with the heroes. The rest of the time, it's just all this other stuff going on in the background. It's like, to just remind you that they are in the movie. They are villains. They're our actual bad guys. They're the antagonists.
Yeah.
But half the time, they're not on screen. Now, for the most part, this is good because really the conflict of the story is not in how they're going to deal with Carface. It is Charlie coming to that realization that helping her is better than helping himself.
Right.
That is the real conflict that's resolved at the end. It's
Agreed.
not whether or not we defeat Carface or not.
True.
Carface getting eaten by King Gator, as stupid as that scene is cherry on top. Well, it's a sausage on top of your jambalaya.
That is true. That is true.
Trying to come up with appropriate ones here. But they're not interesting. The only interesting part of these characters is that they're the ones that killed Charlie in the first place.
Yeah.
And they are obviously trying to get the girl back.
Right.
But for the most part, that's we don't see them in other movies. They would still be causing trouble for our heroes, even if it was very minute trouble. They aren't causing any trouble for our heroes till they kidnap Anne Marie. Yeah, at the end.
Yeah, basically,
which does get them going back over there, but at the same time, it's kind of annoying that they're in the movie so little. Yeah, despite the fact that they are almost as interesting a character as Charlie and Itchy.
That is true.
So yeah, that's more of a frustration on my part with how they handled the quote unquote villains. Yeah. Despite the fact I know why they handled it that way. It's just, if you're gonna have villains that are going to be villains throughout and not just, the people who killed them at the beginning, and then because really in the beginning they really didn't need to go back.
Oh yeah,
the story doesn't need them to go back and talk to Carface and Killer. Mm-hmm. You're going to bring them back. You need to have them more in the story instead of having a scene where Carface is on a car acting like a dog it's not a car. It's one of those rides outside of a grocery store entrance. Yes, that they've got a fan and there's a window to make.
That was hilarious. It's actually
funny. Yeah, don't get me wrong. It's funny. It does nothing to the plot other than he tells Killer that we've got to go get the girl back. Yeah. It's a funny scene to watch because it's kind of cool, and it was expensive because that's another one of those 3D shots he did in this movie. But it's still, you know what I mean? I still would like better villains, but that's just me liking better villains.
Oh, I understand.
What's your number 3?
My number 3.
If you have one.
Well, I do have one, actually. Originally, my 3 was going to go beyond the film and what happened to a certain little actress. But I'm going to skip over that part because we already talked about that. And plus, if you want to understand more about what actually happened, you can go back to our Facebook group and actually read that.
Yes.
But I changed that for... There's a scene in which Killer is about to be fed to the fish.
Yes, the fish.
Yeah, about to give Bill the fish, and he reveals to the Carface that, I have a gun. I have a laser pistol.
Go ahead.
I have this.
I hadn't forgotten about this.
Yes.
This was kind of the stupid thing I was going to bring up last. So we had the same number 3.
Yes. The point of where it'd be like, I have this. I can't remember what he calls it, but it's like a Buck Rogers.
Flash Gordon.
That's it.
Laser rifle. And at first you're going, okay, this movie takes place in the 30s.
Yes.
Flash Gordon would have been around at the time.
Right.
In the newspapers. That works.
In the serials as well.
Serials, yes. Why did you have to do this? And then it occurred to me why. Because when you look at the actual scene of them firing the Flash Gordon laser rifle at our friends, that is not a laser rifle.
No,
that was a gun that they changed so that it could be PG.
I didn't notice that.
If you look at that's what it has to be.
Yeah,
because the shots
that makes sense.
The shots, are still the standard bullet shot.
That is true. That is so true.
In animation,
that is true.
The thing doesn't look like a laser rifle.
No,
it just has sound effects for a laser gun.
Yes,
and this other scene to tell you, I got a gun. It's a laser gun. This is the 1930s. They don't even have laser guns in 2019. Sorry, wrong year. 2020.
This is 2020.
I forget we're in 2020. You'd think my sight would be clearer by now.
You think?
But anyway,
mine's nowhere near 2020.
Mine's not either.
But the fact that when they start,
we're about a century. We're a couple of millennia till we get to my eyesight.
But that scene just drove me nuts thinking about it, because obviously Charlie gets hit 3 to 5 times with this thing, and he walks up and be like, "Whew, thank goodness for my my watch." I'm like, "Are you kidding me? You got shot all over here."
Yes,
there's no way on earth that deflected it.
So that brings the question, in the obvious original non-PG version of the scene.
Yeah.
What was his excuse for not getting killed?
I get, because it was so obvious, like how many, but like every one of those characters got hit.
Yes.
And be like, they just walk away without a scratch. And like the next scene where he's like, be like, "You missed, get him." And he's like, they starts firing him off like just randomly, and it's taking all these watermelons and taking cars out and everything.
And
it's
not the way a laser would do it either.
No, it'd be like, thank you for pointing that out. I didn't realize that.
Yes.
Maybe I was being naive with it. But, oh my gosh, it drove me nuts. I was like, what? Like, that is not a laser.
And they wouldn't even have lasers in the 1930s.
No, they wouldn't.
But that's what they claim.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my word. I know why this had to happen. This is the same reason why when Spielberg redid E.T., he took all the guns out and had people pointing their hands in place of guns.
Yeah, I think it was wands or something like that, or batons.
No. Fingers.
Oh, it was fingers?
It was fingers. No, flashlights. It was
flashlights. It was flashlights. Thank
fingers
you.
Was Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yu-Gi-Oh! That's right.
So they're just pointing. It's like they're two guys pointing down Seto Kaiba, pointing at us, says, "You'll never get out of here. You've got finger guns. He can survive."
That does make sense now, because man, that scene was aggravating beyond belief. I was like, really?
But that's why that scene happens that way. It's like
that does make sense now.
It was intended to be an actual gun. They couldn't have the budget to reanimate it, but they could throw in different sound effects and change one scene earlier in the movie.
That is true.
In fact, I would be willing to bet that scene did not exist prior to them realizing we can't have our heroes getting shot with real guns.
Yeah,
we need
probably
a way to show that this is actually a laser thing. So that's why we're going to have Killer get eaten partially by piranhas.
Yeah. My thought was, be like, if I ever got the chance to meet Don Bluth, be like, okay, Mr. Bluth, be like, where is the
you want the uncut version?
Give me the unedited cut of this movie and see how bonkers this movie really is.
Yes. Probably Anne-Marie dies at the end of the movie.
Oh, don't do that. No.
I don't know. I'm just being ornery at this point.
Oh yeah, it's kind of like the cut of the Black Cauldron, which no one will ever see.
Mm-hmm.
Because
why would Disney release it at this point?
Yeah, because someone had to go in there, cut it himself, even though he didn't know how to cut animation.
Right.
But anyways, so yeah, that was one of my big gripes of this film, was the laser gun scene.
Completely understandable.
Yeah, choke on a bone.
I'm trying to look up our bit of audience interaction that we had for this movie.
Yeah, I did too. All right, I saved it actually.
Good, because nice too.
I got you. Yeah, I got it.
All right. So that brings us to the end of another episode.
Yes.
And as we do every time, we like to post links to the upcoming movie, let you know what's coming up in the Facebook group, so that we can get your comments on what you thought of the movie before we actually give our ratings. So we did actually have one this time. If you'd read it, Jacob.
Yeah, we actually have two. One is from Josh. He says, Don Bluth is one of the masters of kid movies. I also found out he's from Texas. He's a Texan.
Mm-hmm.
And another one from Heather, which states, one of my favorite childhood films. I love Charlie because I had a German Shepherd that looked just like him, who followed and protected me when I was a kid.
Alrighty. So, our final ratings for this movie. After you, good sir.
All right. 8 paws.
8 paws.
Or 8 dog bones?
Either way. Whatever works for you.
Okay.
I'm glad you didn't have a half.
That'd be a flea in a hat. That'd be like a flea or something like that. But anyways, I thoroughly enjoyed this film. It's dark, it's gritty, it's Don Bluth at almost his darkest. I think the next movie we're going to do is a little darker.
Mm-hmm.
But this movie is so incredibly well done. It had, like, minus its flaws, minus its recuts, re-edits, and Don Bluth, release your edit, please.
Release the Bluth cut.
Yeah, exactly. Believe me, we'll watch it. We'll review it if you were. Yeah. Yes, we will.
Yep.
But yes, the movie was fantastic. There's a lot of heart in this movie, even though you think it's like, oh, this is all dogs go to heaven and these dogs are really, really bad dogs. But it's a really good, great movie. You brought up some really good points about the redemption and the whole bit. I really love this film, and that's the reason I gave it an 8, because it's just, one, nostalgia as being a little kid watching, when I was a little kid in the 90s. And just it warms my heart to see how much of a beautiful film this is, animation wise, story wise, and it's a great film. And if Don Bluth does, want to release that cut, do it. Be like, heck, if he wants to come to us and just let us see it, and we'll review it. Anyways,
I think you're hoping for too much.
Yeah, I think so. But what is your rating?
My rating for this movie, I'm also going to give it about 8.
Okay.
It does have a bit of a nostalgia boost because this was one I watched a lot as a kid.
Yeah.
But it's a fun movie. It's got a great redemption story, even though there's some logistical issues that, like we talked about.
Yeah. It's a laser pistol.
Well, among other things I didn't bring up. But it's just a fun movie. It's a lot darker than, of course, I remembered as from when I was a kid.
Yeah.
But it's so good. I think everyone should watch it, to be honest.
Yeah, I agree.
So, and I can tell you that if you've got Tubi TV, which is free with commercials, it's on there. So go do that. You don't even have to spend any money for that. It's completely free.
Yeah, actually, I just learned when I was doing research, you can actually watch it on YouTube for free now.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
okay.
it's
that's probably even better.
Yeah, because it's free all over the place. You can rent it from some places, but for the most part, you can see it for free.
Yeah.
So if you get the chance, go watch this film. It's really good, and kids will enjoy it.
Yes.
It might be a little dark and scary, but it's really good.
Mm-hmm. Hopefully they won't get scared of bulldogs.
Yeah.
Or whatever kind of dog Killer is.
Well, technically, he's supposed to be a pit bull, but he looks like a bulldog. He's a bully.
What is Killer supposed to be?
I have no idea. Chihuahua?
I don't know. He's a cartoon dog. That's all I know. Yeah,
he's a cartoon dog.
So, that brings us to the end of another episode. Normally here, we would roll for our next movie.
Right.
That won't be done for another 3 weeks, if I've done my math correctly. Because we'll have this coming episode, which is
the first Don Bluth movie, as far as I understand he directed, which would be The Secret of Nim.
All right.
And that's going to be a dark one, too.
Oh, yes. The after that, we're having our 1-year anniversary movie.
Yay!
With Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Yeah, baby.
And then the week after that, we are doing our upcoming 2020 movie review episode.
Yes.
So keep an ear out for that one.
Yeah. Don't we have like another review coming out? Reactionary movie?
We do have reaction coming out this Friday, with any luck.
Yeah.
Because this Thursday, me and Jacob are going to go watch the movie Weathering with You at the theater, at the fan event, as they're calling it. So we will have our reactions out. I'm going to try and actually have it out Thursday night, but it may be Friday night before I can get to it.
Right.
So keep an eye out for that one. I think that's going to be a fun one.
Okay.
It's the first one where the only reason we're going to go see it is because of the director.
Yes, and the previous film he did, which is freaking amazing.
I don't even know what the story in this movie is about. It's like, oh, he's doing another movie? I'm there. Yes. I don't need to know anything else. I only watched the trailer I posted in the Facebook group just to make sure that I could post it in the Facebook group. And it looks amazing. Yeah. So keep an eye out for that one. We'll have that up as soon as we can, probably Friday. You'll be able to get it Friday. It might be later in the day, but we'll see.
Okay.
So, that brings us to the end of this episode completely. All that leaves is us hitting our outro with where they can find us. So, where can they find you, Jacob?
You can find me on Facebook at Jacob B. Heron, and also on Facebook, Jacob's Daily Art Corner, where I try to draw every day. And I think I'm getting better at that. And it's just my journey of being an artist. I've been doing it for nearly 3 years. And if you want to see an artist, develop their craft into a better and better artist, you can follow me on that one. You can follow me at Twitter at Jacob B. Heron. And also you can follow me on Letterboxd at Jacob Heron, one word with a capital J and a capital H.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's all.
Okay.
Where can they find you, Drew?
You can find me on Facebook under Drew Dodgen. You can also find my Facebook page that I have not been getting better at posting at Drew's Photo Bin. I'm still at October as the last thing I posted, and I still haven't posted my vacation pics yet, so forgive me there. You can also find me on Twitter at Drew Dodgen. You can find me on Letterboxd at GGeorge759. I have been doing better about keeping that up to date.
Yeah.
Mostly because of the 100 movie challenge that we're in the middle of.
Yeah, that's fun, actually.
Yeah, so, and I'm using that to keep track of my my list of the movies I've seen. So if people ever want to know, hey, you got the list right there, you can look at it.
Yeah, exactly. Also, I'm doing on mine, I'm doing a separate list of the Cellcast movies we're doing for 2019.
I should be doing that also, but I will admit I haven't.
So yeah, be like if you want to follow us on Letterboxd, but that's where we are.
You can also find both of us at thecellcast.podbean.com.
Yes.
That is our website. There you will find links to, you'll find a link to every episode if you want to just listen there.
Yeah.
Or you can listen to us on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, or Google Play. Mm-hmm. Or pretty much, if you go to our website, you can get the RSS feed and load it into any podcast catcher you like, if we are not, for some reason, on that directory.
Okay, excellent.
So, and we've been able to do that since the beginning. I've just never thought to mention it until now.
Yeah.
And all you have to do there generally is to copy the RSS link that it gives you.
Yeah.
Throw it into whatever search bar you use to find new podcasts in most of these podcast apps. Mm-hmm. Or generally on your main podcast thing where it says add, it will allow you to add an RSS feed instead of going to the directory.
Really?
In a lot of cases. So if you want to do that and follow us on whatever app you're on, whatever app you like to use, definitely go ahead and do that, because that link is on the website as well.
Okay.
Also, you can email us at thecellcastpodcast@gmail.com. We always welcome emails. We've only gotten one in the entire year we've had this one, so we would like to see more. Mm-hmm. Also, please rate and review us on whatever podcast service you find you got us on, so we can help spread the word of the podcast. You can also join us on our Facebook group at Double Feature Podcast Community. And the reason it's Double Feature is that we are also on another podcast called Movie of the Week Podcast. Yep. That where you can listen to us talk about live action movies. Mm-hmm. So if you like what you hear and want to see what a third voice is you don't know yet, which would be a fellow listener of this show, and Jim, which is your brother.
Yes. And
we have a good time over there with those movies.
Yes.
So I think that's it. Other than saying every time, Twitter. You can follow us on Twitter. Not that I ever remember to update Twitter.
Yeah.
I need to get you that, so you can do that, because I forget to. But we update on Twitter. We have a Twitter, so you can follow us over there. It's @cast_cell.
Okay.
So follow us there. And remember, every time we say cell in the Cellcast, that is with a single L.
All right, then.
So, I think that's it.
Okay.
Unless you can think of anything.
I think we're good.
Okay, so this has been Drew.
This is Jacob.
And we will catch you in the next frame.
Next time on
The Cellcast.
Oh, thank goodness. I'm so glad you're home.
You confounded machine. You never know when it's going to up and blow.
Yes. I don't suppose you would remember me.
Yes, you're Mrs. Brisby. And I'm sorry about your husband's death. Now, if you'd excuse me.
Mr. Ages!
Great Jupiter, woman, what do you want?
Mr. Ages, I know you don't like visitors, but this is an emergency. Please.
Madam, that is an emergency.
Oh, Mr. Ages, my son Timothy is so sick.
Timmy? The one with the spider bite? Oh, just give him some Pepsi-Cicero.
No, he's sick with a fever.
Well, I suppose I could fix up something.
Oh, thank you.
Follow me, but don't touch anything. Understand?
I do appreciate it.
Just how high is his fever?
He's burning hot to the touch.
Yes.
He's soaking wet with perspiration.
Yes.
And there's a raspy sound when he breathes.
A raspy sound, you say? Does he have a chill?
Yes, he does.
Have you wrapped him in a blanket?
Yes.
Now step inside, but keep your hands to yourself. I'm right in the middle of something very important.
I understand.
Oh, do you? Oh, look at this mess. Oh, shoo, go on. Your son has pneumonia.
Pneumonia?
It's not uncommon, but you can die from it.
Oh, please, dear God, no.
Your son must stay in bed. Bundle him up. Not to go outside.
But how long must...
3 weeks. He cannot be moved for at least 3 weeks.
But moving day is nearly here.
You asked my advice, and I gave it to you.
I'm sorry.
He must stay in bed. Now mix this powder in a broth and make him drink it. It'll bring down the fever.
Oh, bless you, sir.
And rest yourself. You'll need it. Now, you must excuse me. You know the way out.
Oh, of course. Thank you once again.
Oh, shoo. Go on now. Go on.
Thank you so much. Goodbye.